Hi, welcome back to the Launch Point Leader Podcast. My name's Lori.
This is Beau.
And we're excited to be back here another week sharing questions that you guys have written into us just about your leadership journeys and what you're facing. If anyone out there listening wants to write in, you can write us at advice@launchpointleader.com. Today, our letter says, Dear LaunchPoint, I'm currently facing a significant challenge with indecision during crucial moments with my team. I've been a part of my job for a long time as just a team member. If you had asked me last year, I would have said I knew all the solutions to almost any problem that could pop up. Everything changed when I stepped into a manager role. Suddenly, the pressure for my decisions doubled as it now affects my entire team and the business as a whole on a deeper level. Now, instead of making a swift decision when people come to find me, I find myself paralyzed and unable to make a call. I have so much more pressure now, and the perspective I have on the business has changed, which has caused me to be more afraid of making mistakes. There have been a couple times where I've just given no answer and told them to do what they think is best. This hesitation is starting to affect my team's confidence in my leadership and our overall productivity. How can I improve my decision-making skills under pressure and become a more decisive leader? I just can't break through that wall. So specific books to read or other things you've done to help would be really appreciated. Thanks. Drowning in Decisions.
Yeah, so specific book, because you mentioned that last, I would say It's Okay to Be the Boss is a great book. Bruce Tolgan, I believe, is the author of that one. And that's where I might potentially start. And then maybe the 1 Minute Manager for an oldie but a goodie, a little bit different. But so 2 potential book opportunities for you there. So I love that you said pressure and perspective, that the pressure is increased with this new role, that the perspective has changed.
Right.
And I think that is a tremendous thing to recognize that.
Right.
Oftentimes people get into leadership roles and they don't realize what their perspective needs to be. So the fact that you feel that pressure is great. Pressure is privilege. And I think you would not have gotten to this managerial role if the people who were leading you as a team member didn't think you had this in you.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of time to get your footing under you. But I think what I would encourage you on is if you're waiting for perfect, the decision's never going to come. Mm-hmm. So it's better to make a swift decision with confidence than to wait for the perfect plan to be executed with perfection. So I just make a decision. Whether it's right or wrong, make the decision and then own the results.
Yeah.
If you've made the wrong decision and mistakes happen, look at your team and say, that's on me. Not won't happen again.
Right.
But if you just send your team back and it's not a learning opportunity for them, but you're saying, I don't know, just do what you think is best. Yeah. That's where that confidence is going to start to fade. So make a decision, make it with confidence, even if you're not confident on the inside. Mm-hmm. The last thing I would say is if people are coming to you continually and you're a new manager, this is a beautiful opportunity for you to step back and look at why they're coming to you. What are the situations that are causing them to seek your decisions? And how can you put systems and processes in place that allow them to make that decision or execute that process at the lowest possible level without it, rising to where you have to answer those questions.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting, this letter. It sounds like they've been part of the team for a long time. They said, if you had asked me last year, I would have known all the answers to any problem that comes up. So it sounds like maybe it's the same type of issues that are still happening that they just now don't feel as confident in answer because of, like we've talked about, the different perspective or different things. So I think it is what you mentioned, like putting systems to that. Why are the same problems you were solving as a team member still coming up? I think is really evaluating that can be a good piece of that too. Just to handle the backside of when you talk about how the amount, the volume, maybe of questions that are coming at you. Because as a new leader, sometimes it's not the fact that the questions are very difficult or deep. It's just the volume can be really overwhelming. Like
it makes your head spin a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And you start hearing, I just remember like I would time how long I went between hearing my name when I first became a leader.
Did you really?
Yeah, not a stopwatch. I wasn't, but I would be like, it's 3 minutes. Oh, somebody else. Like you would measure, like, can I go 10 minutes without somebody calling out
in my house
name?
That's my wife with mom,
right.
you know, like,
exactly.
everybody just stop.
Yeah, and so you expect that with your family. You don't expect it maybe necessarily when you go into work with all your team. But it can be. That can be overwhelming. So maybe part of the indecision is just the volume coming in. So when you talk about figuring out systems in place and how can you solve the continual things that are coming up, I think that can really help. The first part of this is that volume of decisions coming in.
That's a really good point. And I think is you're getting that as a leader, or Kate as a mom,
right?
Is you're getting that, one of the most important things I think to do when you respond to it is whatever that response is, try to point them back to what they already know how to do. Mm-hmm. So in my family, it's like, hey, can I have some orange juice?
Right.
You know what? You sure can. Refrigerator's right over there. Right. Your leg's working? All right. Then let's go do that. Yeah. So I think it's the same way in business too. Is it's like, hey, can we, or what about this, or Lori this? And it's like, hey, great, go do that. Hey, great, it's right over there. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
And that teaches your team, as you're creating systems, that's actually a system you're creating, is letting them know, don't ask me the nonsense.
Right.
Don't expect me to do for you what you already know how to do. I think that's the big one.
Yeah.
Is I wonder if some of the volume is they're expecting this new leader to do what they know how to do, mm-hmm. or what the team knows how to do already, and they're just kind of putting it off on them.
You could also have that element of maybe they're seeking your approval, like they want you to make the final call, but to see that they've been thinking through the problem, like, hey, would this be a good solution to this? And you're like, I don't know, do what's best, because maybe you've got other things on your mind. I think that element too. So find a way to acknowledge, like, your trust in them can be another big piece of that. So you've talked about systems in place for the small things that come up that they should know, but I think it's giving them permission to take some ownership.
Yeah.
Is that next piece too, that as you're talking, I was thinking about, like, sometimes when I was a newer leader with maybe my managers, I would ask them things I really knew the answer to. I kind of knew, I felt 80% confident that I could do it, but I didn't feel like it was my call to make a final decision. So maybe there's that piece too to look at in your leadership, just from a little bit different of a perspective.
Yeah, and I don't know what business you're in, because they mentioned critical moments or crucial moments towards the beginning of their note. So I don't know if it's like a real time, this just happened, I got to have a decision right now. Mm-hmm. If it's not, I think one of the things that I think everybody that's worked with me for any length of time knows, don't come to me with a problem unless you come with potential solutions or steps you've already worked through. I'm happy to consult to help resolve, but don't just come and go, hey, this is a problem, boom, it's now yours.
Walk away.
No, we're not doing that. We're coming in, this is a problem, here's what we've done already, here's what we think could be the next steps.
Absolutely.
But really want you to help us think through this. That's the leader's job.
Yeah.
But until those two elements have been met, I kind of say, don't bring it to me.
That's good.
Because that's what I'm going to ask you first. What have you done so far? And what are potential solutions that you have? And if you don't have either one of those, I'm going to send you back until you can come back to me with those two things.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you said really at the very beginning I want to dig into is really that phrase, pressure is a privilege.
Yeah.
What does that mean to a new leader that's feeling that pressure and it does not feel like a privilege right now?
Yeah. There's a reason you're a leader and not a team member anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that you have been either given innate leadership quality and abilities, or you've got potential inside of you that someone else has seen. And pressure is what brings that out of you. The pressure creates diamonds, right? I mean, the intense pressure creates one of the most beautiful stones that we have. And the pressure that you feel, what it's doing is it's not destroying you, even though it feels like it is sometimes. What it's doing is it's molding you, because as that pressure increases and the volume turns up, our need to really hone in on our skill set and the decisions that we're making and do the work personally that'll help us in these pressure situations, that's really what pressure is all about to me. So I think if you're feeling pressure, that's your sign to maybe take a slight step back and go, okay, why am I feeling this?
Yeah.
What do I need to work on so that I don't feel that pressure as much, but that it makes me better? I think when I feel the most pressure is when I need to work on something in me the most, a leadership skill,
right.
An opportunity that I'm not great at or that I've not given enough time and attention to. That's why I feel the pressure, because I'm not ready for it yet.
You're sensing that weak spot.
Yeah, I'm weak and I'm not comfortable with it. So I think that's why I say pressure is a privilege. It helps bring to light for you what your strengths are and what you need to work on. And that pressure helps you realize that. And if you respond correctly, it becomes a privilege because you grow so much from that pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that in and of itself is a really powerful mindset shift that can help as we look at like drowning in decisions, how to help them directly. You really just want to know where to start. I think that's a good mindset shift to start working towards. I don't think you're going to be able to truly view it and believe that right away. But I think if you start viewing it this way and using the signals that you're receiving with these indecision moments, like figuring out how to improve yourself with some of the things we talked about, you look at at the ways, I think where this person starts is owning the results. Don't wait for perfect. I think it's right at the beginning, some perfect advice and things that they can start working on immediately. And then, digging into the systems and ownership and why they're coming to you. The questions is all the back work you can do. But in the meantime, you already notice your team's confidence as being in you as being affected. So take the ownership, make those steps. And I think you shouted out some great books earlier with It's Okay to Be the Boss and The 1 Minute Manager. But all really can help you on that journey, because when you look at it, it's not the fact that you don't know the answer. It sounds like you've been in the role, you understand it.
Yeah.
You've just got to build that trust in yourself, use the pressure to build that and really acknowledge it is how you're going to move through that. Because it can be really tough in the beginning to do that. But I think some great pieces of advice. Drowning in decisions, we really appreciate you writing in today and sharing with us. Just being vulnerable is really important, because I know you're not the only person listening going through this. And so we appreciate just being able to hear from you and give some insight into that. We really hope that helped. If anyone else has anything similar they're going through or anything else you want to write into us about, you can write us at advice@launchquitleader.com. Thanks.
See you next time.